I mean, first point out the devastation that is, I am a young woman. Was 25. So first of all, like, this is what breast cancer looks like. And second, I think I would just say, like, the fighting is a lot easier than the surviving, in my opinion. I'm Taylor. I'm 27. I am a year and a half breast cancer survivor. I was 25 when I was diagnosed.
I can't imagine, I was 31, but finding out you're in your 20s.
But I think, like, in your 20s and having had a mastectomy, learning to, like, look at your body in the mirror and you can feel and what you can't feel, and realizing, like, oh, I can't feel a whole part of my breast. And then you tack on medications. So with the low to no estrogen in your body, like, your libido is naturally being inhibited. You're trying to figure out yourself and what works for you intimately, while you also maybe have a partner doing that.
Sharing your body with a new human is so difficult. You can't just, like, touch my chest, because if I don't know where your hands are, it's too shocking to my system. It takes me back to, like, mastectomy days.
So, like, I am queer, which brought a whole new level to it. In terms of being, with a woman at the time, I didn't have that, like, I need to explain to you what breast cancer is. I need to explain to you the gravity of what just happened to my body. I think instinctively, like, a woman does understand that. On the flip side, I don't think I was prepared for, like, how sad that could be. If, like, I'm now seeing another woman's body, or that she does not have a mastectomy, So that is in itself a little heartbreaking, and something that I think, you have to learn to navigate, or I have to learn to navigate. I'm a travel nurse, so when I got diagnosed, I ultimately decided I needed to move home for treatment. And so at 26, I moved back in with my parents and kind of felt like a child again, giving up all the independence, especially when you physically need the help from them. And it makes you emotional no matter how much time goes past. But, and you think, I'm 26, and if I want to connect with my mom, how do I tell her, like, you need to spend more time thinking about the possibility of your child dying, That is a pain I would never wish on somebody. I remember a few weeks ago, I started meeting with a new therapist, and she asked, like, do you think it's made you a better nurse? And, like, without hesitation, I could say, yes. The people at your appointments who make a difference, the nurse who's there who tells you, like, I had breast cancer too. Or, I remember when I went for my mastectomy, and the anesthesiologist was maybe 40 and a breast cancer survivor, and just to hear her share that before going in for a mastectomy at 25, it changed the course of the day for me, and it's something I remember now. And so when I think back on some of the situations I used to sit in, and the lack of care or attention I paid to the person who's laying on the table, it's something I think I'm pretty ashamed of. But when I think about the life experience that this has all given me, I know what it feels like to want any sort of relatability, or to just have your hand held when somebody's doing a procedure. I think is like a different sense of identity I think I carry with myself at work now. To a young woman, if diagnosed, I think I would just say, like, the fighting is a lot easier than the surviving, in my opinion. What comes after, when there's no more plan, when there's less frequent doctor's visits, when there's less support from the people around you, and set yourself up for success. Learn to be vulnerable, learn to tell people when you're really not doing as great as it might seem on the outside, and learn to just be authentically you.